to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Board of School Trustees would like to, Brown County would like to call this meeting to order at 6 o'clock on June 16th. And we've got the public hearing, I'd like to call it to order. Any public input on that for the Brown County School Superintendent contract? Okay, do I need to get a motion to adjourn that? Can I get somebody to make a motion to adjourn that meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Janice.
Yes.
Motion carries. On to the regular agenda items. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We have a modifications to agenda.
Yeah, we have one action needed item, the recommendation to appoint Amy Oliver as a participating member of the Brown County Innkeepers Tax Steering Committee.
Do we have a motion to accept?
Move to accept modification.
A second? Any discussion? Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
I'll abstain.
Janice.
Yes.
Motion carries. Recognition of visitors and comments from the audience. Anybody would like to speak? And I think we have a presentation.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Well, Mr. Steele and I are super excited to talk to you about an opportunity that we have for kiddos that we used to have, and that we're looking at taking in a different, more exciting path in the future. So we want to talk to you a little bit about that collaboration between middle school and high school. So these are kind of some of the things that we'll go through, how it's connected to our region, this program, and with our community partners, and some of the also the financial pieces for the district as we work through that together. So this is in the construction program of study, and so a little bit about its past work. Students, when they were in construction, they were having to take that at C4 in Columbus, and when they do that, we send funds to Columbus to pay for that program, and of course we send our kids away, and while we like them to be away for real world opportunities and internships, receiving their education somewhere else is not always best for us. Here it's not best for them. So our goal through this collaborative is to help keep our kids home and to really address an area that is meaningful to our community and really exciting to our kids.
And I would just like to add, Steve, so by keeping this at home, it allows the middle school to also become a partner with the high school. So, you know, the C4 program is great, everything, right? We are not going to be able to take advantage of that at the middle school level. The partnership with the high school will allow it to stretch down to the middle school and connect to even more kids.
So as Mr. Steele and I work through this, right, we notice that kids are wanting to explore areas that are producing opportunities for high income levels in an area that is in demand in our area. And so it's not only supporting the workforce needs, but also our own kids' interests and the community needs here. So as we kind of look, this mission kind of drove our look at this as a 612 collaborative. You know, in terms of our region, right, I wanted to provide you with some data just in our region. The construction sector employs in the state of Indiana about 145,000 people just in the state of Indiana. The Bureau of Labor reports that this is a growing industry, not only just in Indiana, but across the nation, but specifically in the Midwest. And that skilled workers are required to complete a lot of these jobs, whether it's electrical work, plumbing work. And so our high school kids who maybe are not college bound, but are looking to maybe receive a credential of value as it's connected to our new diploma, this creates opportunity for them here, okay? And then not only that, but our kids then have access to really good incomes, and there's a real good chance that if they can receive a good income working in a trade that is really relevant to our community, that they might stay here long term, right? And eventually send their kiddos to our schools. So three big regional opportunities there for us. a little look at the middle school piece.
Yeah, so we, at the end of last year, talked to our 7th graders who will be coming back to us as 8th graders this year and said, who wants, you're not forced into this class, we're not forcing you to take this class. Given the opportunity, who would want to be in a construction class? We had 50 students in our 8th grade class express interest. And, you know, when I started looking at the data on this, it was really good to see a demographic difference between, it's not all males or all female, right? We see a good blend, so it's representation, good representation of the middle school. So what we would look to do is spread it out into 4 sections, 2 sections per semester, housed at the high school, so we keep one base hub that we would bring our kids down to. And I think what you heard me talk about before in my presentation last board meeting was the collaborative efforts between the middle school and high school, and how many classes we have going on now where we have students coming down to the high school, where we're able to share staff and build out experiences for kids that is not just a 9 through 12 experience anymore. You know, we're getting them in 7 and 8 down to the high school and experiencing opportunities. You know, this is just 8th grade, so we're talking just 50 8th graders. It would follow course code 4792, which we'll see in a later slide. That's reimbursable code. So we'll talk through the financial impact that something like this would bring to the district.
Is it CTE money? Is that what you mean?
Mm-hmm. So at the high school level, then the construction does follow the next level programs of study sequence. It begins with the principles level course. The 2 concentrator courses that are offered in different years are general carpentry and finishing and framing. And then if a student completes 4 years in the high school program, they'd have access to that capstone piece, which is that career-connected learning experience out in the field. Somewhere. I've included course codes there for you, because I do want you to see in our slide coming up, I want you to see the financial benefit for us as a small district, okay? But really, if you'll notice in the middle school one, we're looking at things like chicken coops, yard barns, cool projects that I think would be really popular in this community. But at the high school level, we want to build a home. That's our ultimate goal. That is the big Super Bowl moment. If this program had an end zone, that would be it, to build a home. And I think there's need in our community for that. We have an opportunity to bring along some partners in this journey with us. I did have the opportunity to talk with Habitat for Humanity specifically about this idea that one day we could come together and build a home a year in Brown County. And they are at the table. They are just waiting for the phone call. So that's really wonderful for that organization to be there. I think we have opportunities with our local unions here, and we are part of the South Central Indiana Builder Trade Council, and so I think there's opportunity there for, especially as we look at like supplies, we look at internship placements, of course local contractors, that is a huge area of business here in the county, and then local business, right? Like I think of Bear Hardware, and they are so good to our school and would be probably open to joining us in this journey. I think also we have an opportunity to look at what is sometimes connected in this whole world of construction in terms of clubs. We really want our students to be involved in something outside of their curricular day. That has been a target at the high school specifically this past year. This is a good fit. And so I think there's an opportunity for, if we find the right person, where we can serve that student interest area dealing with ag and at least start to lay the groundwork of opportunity for them in the world of ag. And I do think, there are some strings that must be dealt with when you have an official club like FFA, but I certainly think we have an opportunity there, right? And I would see this person maybe sponsoring that for students at the middle school level and at the high school level to give them something else to do. It is a really nice fit. And so reimbursements, I put all 5 years in the cycle, beginning with 8th grade. So the 8th grade year, that course code is reimbursed at $300 per pupil. Okay? It's kind of an introductory level course. The reimbursement rate as a student progresses through the sequence of courses increases, and so, and you'll see $714 is per pupil reimbursement rate. For the principal's level course, the concentrator A and the concentrator B. If they make it to the capstone, that reimburses a little bit more, just over $1,000. So Gavin and I did some quick math based on the number of students that we have, roughly 51 at the high school right now, 50 in just 8th grade. Remember, that's 51 in the whole high school, but if that 50, if we carry over just 30 of those students every year, right, we're at 120 students in the high school program. And I think that's reasonable. And so just based on the math of about 100 kids, middle school and high school, we were at about a $50,000 reimbursement for the district. So think about that in terms of paying for that position.
Just
So-
in this pathway.
just in this pathway. That's a good bang for the buck for a district like us, but an incredible opportunity for our kids. Questions, comments?
Have we advertised for this position already?
I hit Chris Todd up at the fair.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he would be a great advisor. I'm sure you've heard
I've heard
that
the
we
stories.
had this
Yes.
program, and unfortunately, it was dependent on the person.
Yeah,
And, you know, when that person retired, you know, we had a real loss.
yeah.
So, you know, we all love Chris Todd, and they did build a house a year. And they did a lot of repairs for people as well, renovations, you know, if they didn't do a whole house. So, you know, I think we all who remember that, you know,
Yeah.
so we're all in favor of it, but I think it is often dependent on finding the right person. So I hope that we're gonna do that. So
We're
thank
gonna
you.
certainly do our best for sure.
I do like the link to the FFA and the agriculture, like,
Yeah.
and the middle school and the high school,
Yeah.
right? Like, I do think there's a really good opportunity there, and to do it the right way where it feels natural and, so.
Would there be an issue with the rollout though, as far as having a person who's full-time? So you've got some of those classes that depend on a principal's class that I might not be able to take, and, you know, you started this year and I'm an 11th grader, right? So
Yeah,
would you be able to offer all of those classes or not?
Because the program was offered before, it never really went away.
Mhm.
Okay, it just shrunk in its capacity.
Okay.
And so students that were in it were able to successfully complete that program. We just did not start any new students.
Uh,
So if you're a junior, right, there's a world where you could take the principals and concentrator A and the B your senior year.
mhm.
If you're a senior, it's too late, but you're already locked into another pathway by
Right,
now.
right.
So timing is not an issue.
Okay, but as far as the kids at C4, have they been,
They will finish through their own
Okay.
pathway, right?
right, so that's what you're talking about,
There
the
are
kids who are
not-
taking just.
Our kiddos here, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, and they took that with Dean before we went over
right,
there.
okay.
Is there a, like, if we are able to roll this out and we can hire the right person for this, what does it look like growing down the road? Is like one person gonna be able to handle this whole pathway? Or the following year, do we need to hire an additional educator and then an additional educator?
I think Amy kind of touched on that, right? Like if we hire the right person, it's like anything. And I think there is a need, I mean, I'm new to the county, but I hear that this is an industry area that is really big in our county. And I think you look at the ag piece that's tied to it, there's another county connection. If it's done right, there maybe could be a need to expand in the future. I don't know until we get there.
One teacher handle 120 kids? Can they handle the course?
If we
load?
schedule it right, I mean, I think there's a world where that's possible, and I think that comes, you know, Gavin and I being at the table and looking at some of those projected numbers and being strategic about what we recommend in terms of staffing. But
And I think, right, you also go back to that per pupil reimbursement, right? When the time makes sense, like, there might be this hard middle ground area where it's like, we're a little big for one, but we're a little small for two, like, we need a bigger commitment to go to two. So, like, that world might come up as
So
well.
that amount of money you're talking about, is that what we're sending the C4s in?
So our C4 agreement, I think we spent about half, is that right? Half
It's
states.
based on how many kids go and whichever different program it is.
Mhm.
And then we still get reimbursed from CTE funding from those kids. We just they get a percentage of it. We don't get the full funding back.
So would you get more funding with ag students too, or how's that, I mean, does it all fit underneath construction? construction?
So my idea for ag is, right, like I know that we have to be really good stewards of our finances, and that is something that Ms. Tracy works through. I don't feel comfortable asking her for an ag teacher yet, right? I want to, if the need is there. But what I want to do is at least create an opportunity for kids to have that need met, that area of interest need met. They can do it through a club. In order to receive reimbursement, it must be a course. And so I think as that club grows and as this program grows, it may be something that we bring to Emily. And while we bring data and hard numbers to her, something for her to look at and budget for in the future. But this sets that conversation up.
Is there also, I mean, I guess I also see a world in which you have industry people who, you know, you can pay to come in for, you know, to assist when you're in that in-between stage, right? Like I need another adult who knows how to do blank, you know, helping me with this class at 20, but I only need him 1 or 2 hours a day, right? And so you can maybe
Yeah.
So
supplement
then we
that.
might be looking at like an adjunct
Mhm.
coming in for 1 or 2 periods just
Right.
to help.
And also getting their expertise, right? So if you've got somebody who's a, you know, real specialist in this finishing type of thing, then
Right.
you're also gaining a lot, because I might, as a teacher, be a generalist, right? Maybe I'm better at the, you know, at the framing, but they're better at, you know, putting in countertops or
Mhm.
whatever it is.
And that would be the gold standard, right?
Yeah.
Is that it doesn't have to be the same person the whole time.
Mhm.
We have a partnership. For 3 weeks, we're working with a
Yeah.
concrete company, and for 3 weeks, we're working with a roofing
Yeah.
company that are teaching us these skills.
Right, right. But again, it is always, I think people are like, oh, I'm really good at construction, but as we know, not everybody's also good at teaching, and some
Right.
people are good at teaching and not good at construction.
Yeah.
So, you know, to find that perfect sweet spot is hard, but I like that idea a lot, because, you know, we often bring in experts in certain things
Right.
to help us with those.
I mean, it would be wonderful if I could pull somebody from industry, right? Like, I also know what they make in industry, you know?
But they
I-
are very
I don't know.
invested in bringing folks up. That's what we find at the CRC, you know, with the electrician certification, is that they are all in for, you know, bringing more people in, making sure they're trained before they come, because they don't have the time and energy themselves to do that kind of training. So the more that they're gonna get here, it's gonna benefit the entire industry.
And we have the right space, so if we were able to find the right person, we could offer this on the fall, and we have enough space right now to do that effectively.
Yeah, the construction classroom is still there, the equipment is still there. My hope would be that we get somebody here sooner rather than later, because like it will need probably some attention and evaluation, but the bones are there.
And this is where Eagle Manufacturing used to be, right?
Yes. Yep. Yep, they can go to work next week. We did have it on our course offering, as did Gavin, so the schedules are built around
Having
this side
something.
of this. So we're not gonna go to guidance, you know, next month and put a whole bunch of work on and say, hey, by the way, we've gotta reschedule all these kids. The work's already done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. So everybody needs to go out and recruit people who
No, that's what
are
I'm saying.
potential. Who do you know?
Who do I know that's in construction then?
We're up to discussion items. There are none. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of June 2nd of 2025? Second. Any discussion? Vote?
Doug,
Saying yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Denise.
Yes.
Motion carries on the approval of minutes. Action needed items, recommendation to approve the proposed amendments to the superintendent contract. Can I get a motion to accept?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Denise.
Yes.
And motion carries. On that, amendments to the superintendent contract, that was, she's still getting paid mileage, and it was, needed to be worded different, so, and I appreciate everything she does for us.
Thank you.
Very well. I need a recommendation to approve the maximum raise as outlined in the superintendent's contract per section 5B and the addendum for the 2025-2026 school year. Can I get a motion to accept?
Second.
Any discussion? Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Janice.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I'll take over.
All right.
And the recommendation to approve the donation of $2,000 for the Brown County High School Winter Guard ECA from Paul Wales.
Can I get a motion to accept?
Yes, will do.
Second.
Any discussion?
Wow, that's a lot. Thank you very much. I don't know who this person is, but I am really grateful and I'm really glad we
Yes. thank
have
you.
the funds to do Winter Guard, because I know it takes a lot of costumes and equipment and travel, so that's really great.
Any more discussion? Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Janice.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And the recommendation to approve the donation of $250 to the Brown County High School Boys Soccer Team ECA from Bear Hardware.
Can I get a motion to accept?
Yes, will do.
Second? Any discussion? Thank you. Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Janice.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And the recommendation to approve the donation of $500 to the Brown County High School History Day ECA from Ken and Norma Berkmeyer.
So I get a motion to accept.
I so move.
Second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
The Berkmeyers have been instrumental in our History Day success. I don't know if you know, but their three sons had their, went to National History Day finals in DC 17 times. With their kids, and now we've got Aesop in his first 2 years obviously going. The kids are doing a great job, so we're really, really grateful both for the financial and time that the Berkmeyers have given to our kids.
Any more discussion? Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Janice.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And the recommendation to approve the 2025-2026 elementary handbook.
Can I get a motion to accept?
Yes, will do.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
There were no major changes to the handbook, we just changed logistical dates and things like that.
Any more discussion? Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Janice.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I have the recommendation to approve the donation of $100 to the Brown County High School History Day ECA from Jane Huffman and Amy Oliver.
Do I get a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Thank you. Any more discussion? Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Abstain.
and Janice.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I have the recommendation to approve a $1,000 donation to Brown County High School History Day ECA from the League of Women Voters of Brown County.
Do I get a motion to accept?
Also move.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
This really does come from lots of the members in the league, by the way. This is not really from their budget, as I understand it. These are individuals, and they said, we need to help kids for the History Day. And they had a goal of $1,000, and they reached it. So I think that's a really great community support from them.
Thank you. Any more discussion? Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Janice.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I have the recommendation to approve the 2025-2026 school board meeting dates and times.
Do I get a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Follows the same format as this year.
And are there work sessions on there? We'll just add those as we need, right?
As a schedule.
Because that was hard when we put them in at the beginning, and then that wasn't exactly when we needed them. Okay, so this is just the normal twice a month on Mondays.
Yep.
Okay,
There are a couple dates that are not
Yeah.
on Monday, but those are started.
Monday holidays.
Any more discussion? Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Janice.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I have the recommendation to approve a base salary adjustment for Christy Pruitt to $53,550 effective January 1st, 2025.
Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved. Second?
Discussion?
Yeah, this comes out of work from central office. We tried to take every position at central office and, job description and compare it to area schools, our size and in our region. And, Christie's position was far below, the minimum of all of the schools that we looked at. When Christie was hired on, we were in the mode of the first referendum and being really tight with money across the board, and we have the opportunity to put her where is more fair for her position, so.
Thank you. Any more discussion? Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Denise.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I have the recommendation to approve the donation from Charles and Brenda Roush to Brown County High School History Day ECA for National History Day expenses in the amount of $500.
Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved?
Second?
Second?
Any discussion?
Thank you.
They're very good neighbors.
They are. They're great people.
Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Denise.
Yes.
Motion carries.
The recommendation to approve the payment of a $5,000 stipend for relocation expenses for Reagan Smith, the new Brown County Schools athletic trainer.
Can I get a motion to accept?
So moved. Second?
Yeah. Any discussion?
Yes, incredibly excited and happy for Reagan to join our team, which will be the next, or a few action items down. We will re-sign the agreement that we have with IU Health. They are actually the employer of Reagan, and we will pay a flat $43,000 to be able to have this position, which is cheaper than what we were paying for an athletic trainer that we had employed, and it is a 3-year contract. So
With IU Health.
with IU Health, with
They will
us,
staff it, right?
with us, yes.
Okay.
And I got to be a part of the interview process. She's coming from across the country, and so that was one thing that she really needed to be able to move up here, was some funding to help her with those relocation expenses. So
And where's she from? Oh, you knew I was gonna ask that, didn't you?
I think Georgia.
Oh, okay.
Just throw one out, there's video.
You said up here, so I didn't know.
Yeah. So, I think that's right though. So we are incredibly excited for her to join the team. She's gonna be great.
Yes. Any more discussion?
Is it starting this summer while we have our practices?
First day is July.
17th.
Excellent. Can we vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Denise.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And the recommendation for the Brown County High School football team to attend an overnight trip to Camp Atterbury, July 7th through July 9th, 2025.
Can I get a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion?
Why are they going to Camp Atterbury?
Why not? Football team.
I mean,
I just think it's an opportunity for team building, and that's where it's held at, so.
okay, I just wondered.
I can't speak to that. That was before me.
I think when Jeff, my son, they went up to Camp Atterbury,
Okay.
I spent the weekend, it was like a camp thing.
We'll have Coach Bell come and do a full presentation on what they did. You like that?
Any more discussion? Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol.
Yep.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Denise.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I have the recommendation to approve the medical services agreement between Brown County High School and Indiana University Health Bloomington. Or this is for the athletic trainer.
Yeah. You have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Denise.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And the recommendation to approve the contract with Thor Davis, Dean of Students, effective July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2026.
Do I have a motion to accept?
I said,
Second.
Any discussion? Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Denise. Yes.
Motion carries.
I had the recommendation to approve the following administrator contracts for July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2027.
Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, you will see, the Steve Sharoman, Brown County High School Principal, and Sarah Roberts, Brown County High School Assistant Principal, are not listed on here. That is because they are still in their first 2 years of contract, and so the board won't officially approve those renewal of contracts until next summer.
Any more discussion? Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Denise. Yes.
Motion carries.
I have the recommendation to appoint Amy Oliver as a participating member of the Brown County Innkeepers Tax Steering Committee.
Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
This is in regards to Mr. Kevin Patrick, who came and presented to the board at the last meeting about requesting somebody from the board to be a member of this steering committee.
Any more discussion? Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Abstain.
Denise.
Yes.
Motion carries.
We have the consent agenda items, starting with the separation of Brown County Schools Assistant Maintenance Director Mike Law, effective May 30th, 2025, through the transfer of Brown County Schools Maintenance position Tim Thomas to the Brown County Schools Assistant Maintenance Director, effective July 1, 2025.
Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussions? Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Denise.
Yes.
Now we have a superintendent's report.
Yeah, super short and sweet tonight. I just want to say congratulations to Emily Llewellyn, again, and the kiddos, for History Day. They won 3rd place at Nationals, which is absolutely incredible. And, they were featured in the New York Times, and, Sweet Kayla Weiss was on the cover of that article, in full gear. So it was pretty cool to see, and a really proud moment, I think, for many in the county. I do want to reiterate, we only have one board meeting in July. It will be July 21st. So just remember, there's only one in July. And then excited to get to go to the INSROA conference, which is the Indiana School Resource Officer Conference. We actually leave tomorrow, and Kyle Miner, our SRO, is going. Gavin Steele is going to be able to go to that. So I think it's the first year for anybody in our district to be able to attend this conference. So excited to see what it's all about, and really proud that we've got a strong presence at the table for Indiana. And that's all I have.
So that's a national conference? What did you say?
It's kind of twofold, right? Like, so NASRO is the National Association for School Resource Officers, and then INSRO is Indiana. So today and tomorrow is the NASRO portion of it. Wednesday through Friday is the Indiana portion.
Oh, okay. Great.
That's it?
That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Can I get a motion to accept claims?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Vote?
Doug,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
Denise.
Yes.
Motion carries. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Pass down the sign.